A mother's warning. It looked like an ordinary bowl of asaro, yam porridge, golden, steaming, and inviting. But by the next morning, that same food had turned pitch black, and the dog that tasted it lay dead. If not for a mother's warning, the only son of Chief Obafemi's household would have been buried before his time. This is not just a story, it is a warning about household wickedness, the kind that hides under the same roof, smiles at you by day, and plots your downfall by night. If you believe wickedness must be exposed, hit the like button right now. Drop a comment below and tell us where you were watching from. We love to connect with you and stand in prayer with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing and eye-opening stories. Together, let's keep exposing darkness and bringing light into homes. But first, watch this story to the very end. What happened next will shock you, and it will sharpen your spiritual sensitivity. Chief Obafemi, a billionaire businessman, was a respected man of great wealth, and his home was a magnificent mansion surrounded by manicured gardens. But for 8 years, a quiet sorrow hung over the house. Every celebration felt incomplete. Every prayer meeting ended with unspoken questions. Neighbors rejoiced over the cries of newborns. Yet within his own walls, there was only silence. He and his beloved wife, Jumoke, loved each other dearly, but the empty cradle in the corner seemed to whisper their pain louder with each passing year. The family's pressure mounted steadily, a constant whisper that eventually became a roar. They urged Jumoke to convince her husband to take a second wife, to secure the family name. Though Chief Obafemi had promised her he would never do such a thing, her love for him and her desire for his happiness finally won out. With a heavy heart, she implored him until he agreed. The new wife, Bisi, arrived, and with her came the sound of little feet. She bore the chief 2 daughters in quick succession, Yemi and Kemi. While this was a blessing, it did not satisfy the family, who demanded a male heir. They started calling Jumoke a he-goat and good for nothing, urging the chief to send her away and marry another woman who could give him a son. But Chief Obafemi would not hear of it. Jumoke was the love of his life. And then, a miracle. After years of waiting, Jumoke conceived. A son was on the way. His arrival was celebrated with great joy, and Chief named him Tosin. He became the only son of the household, for Mama Tosin never conceived again. All the other children that followed were girls, born to Mama Yemi. Chief Obafemi, a gentle and kind man, was a traveling businessman, and he always returned with gifts for his family. One day he arrived with identical gifts for both his wives, a gold necklace, a designer bag, and a generous sum of foreign currency. For his 5 children there were toys and sweets, but his only son, Tosin, received a special expensive gift. The chief believed this was simple fairness, a gift to his heir. But to Mama Yemi, it was a spark that ignited a fire. She looked at her gift and that of her children, then at the one given to Tosin. A deep seed of resentment took root in her heart. She was the one who had brought children to this house, yet her own daughters were treated as secondary. A cold hatred began to grow for the chief, Mama Tosin, and especially for little Tosin. Her mind whispered, "My children brought life to this home. They are the ones who should be treated specially." This feeling intensified when school started. The chief registered Tosin in the most expensive school, one so grand that a bus came to pick him up. The children were oblivious to the difference and played together innocently, but Mama Yemi was not. She confronted the chief about the unequal treatment. He responded simply, "I love all my children, but my son is the one who will carry on my name. I must prepare him for the great task ahead." Mama Yemi nodded in feigned understanding, but her thoughts raced wildly. So this boy will lead the family? He will inherit the chief's empire? What of my daughters? Her mind spun with dark possibilities that the chief had never even considered. A new voice began to whisper, cold and malicious, suggesting a terrible idea: harm the boy. At first, she rejected the suggestion, but she never stopped thinking about it. Her own daughters were only average students, while Tosin excelled, always at the top of his class. This only multiplied her sorrow and deepened her bitterness. She began to treat Tosin with a harshness she had never shown before. The tensions in the home grew more visible. One afternoon, Tosin and his older sister, Yemi, argued over what to watch on the television. The chief came in to mediate, saying, "Yemi, you are the senior, but allow your younger brother to have his way." Mama Yemi's fury erupted. "What kind of judgment is that? The elder should have her way." The chief, seeking peace, relented and told Tosin to let his sister watch her show first. But Mama Yemi was not appeased. Her inner voice had found new fuel. "Are we second-class citizens in our own family just because of this boy?" she muttered to herself, losing all control. The persecution of Tosin began in earnest. Tosin was a bright and playful boy, sometimes too energetic for his own good. One sunny afternoon, while chasing a rubber ball with one of Mama Yemi's daughters, little Kemi, a mishap occurred. Kemi cherished a beautiful hand-carved wooden doll, a rare gift from a relative in a distant town. She had left it on a low stool in the living room, a place she often played. In the heat of their game, Tosin, laughing loudly, accidentally tripped. His small foot landed squarely on the doll, and with a sickening crack, its head snapped clean off. Silence descended. Kemi's laughter vanished, replaced by a terrified whimper, then a wail. Tosin stared at the broken doll, his own face paling, the joy of the game instantly forgotten. He knew he had made a terrible mistake. He apologized profusely, his voice thick with guilt, trying to push the pieces back together, but it was no use. Mama Yemi, drawn by Kemi's cries, rushed into the room. Her eyes fell on the shattered doll, then on Tosin's tear-streaked face. Her lips tightened at first. She picked up the broken pieces, then her gaze fixed on Tosin. "This doll was special and more valuable than you," she said. "It cannot be replaced." Then she began rebuking Tosin for that small mistake, her voice filled with a venomous hatred. Unknown to her, Mama Tosin had returned early from the market and was resting in her room. She listened, shocked, as the woman who always pretended to love all the children equally spewed hateful words at her son. Tosin's small mistake, an innocent accident, was twisted in Mama Yemi's mind. It wasn't just a broken toy, it was further proof that Tosin, this favored son, was a destructive force, a source of trouble and pain for her own children. The incident added another layer of resentment, another justification for the dark thoughts that now consumed her. A cold fear gripped Mama Tosin's heart. She knew her son was in danger. From that day on, her first priority was to protect her boy at all cost. She instructed him never to eat anything from anyone in her absence, making sure to feed him well before she left the house. Tosin, a kind and obedient child, agreed. Mama Yemi soon noticed that Tosin no longer ate food she prepared. Her frustration grew, and the malicious voice in her head intensified, offering up a terrible plan to get rid of the boy so that attention would finally shift to her own daughters. She agreed, waiting for the right opportunity. The opportunity came one afternoon. Tosin, a boy with a generous heart, had been helping Mama Yemi with small chores, never expecting anything in return. He had carried water and helped mend a small toy for one of her daughters. Mama Yemi seized the moment. She prepared a delicious bowl of asaro, yam porridge, garnished with plantain and a large piece of chicken, a meal no child could resist. She brought it to him and insisted he eat it in front of her. Tosin smiled and said, I will, very, very soon." He did not touch the food. When his mother returned, he showed her the bowl. Mama Tosin's hands flew to her head at the sight of the elaborately prepared meal. The packaging was beautiful, but suspicious. "Who gave you this?" she demanded. "Mama Yemi," he replied. A gasp escaped her lips. "Oh God, my only son!" "What's wrong, Mama?" he asked, bewildered. "Have you eaten any of it?" she cried. "No, Mama, I didn't even taste it," he affirmed. She took the bowl and carried it far from the house, pouring the food where a stray dog often patrolled. That night was the longest of Mama Tosin's life. Tosin slept soundly on same bed beside her, but she could not close her eyes. Every hour she would lean over and shake him gently. "Tosin, are you all right?" "Yes, Mama, I'm all right." "Any stomach pain?" "No, Mama." "You sure you didn't taste even a little of the asaro?" Tosin sighed in frustration. "Mama, how many times must I tell you? I didn't eat it." He rolled over, but Mama Tosin stayed awake, her ears tuned to his every breath. To her, the night was a silent battle. By morning, Tosin was bright, cheerful, and ready for his usual breakfast. Mama Tosin, still troubled, went to where she had left the porridge bowl. What she saw made her freeze. The golden yellow porridge had turned a solid, rotten black. An evil, foul odor rose from it. "Tosin, come here," she called, her voice trembling. He ran to her. She pointed a shaking finger at the bowl. "See? This is why I troubled you all night. This food that was golden yesterday is now black as coal." Tosin gasped. Mama Tosin whispered through tears. "Household wickedness, right inside the same roof. What kind of heart can do this?" That morning, the stray dog that had eaten the porridge was found dead. She broke down, holding her son tightly. "Oh God, if not for obedience, I would have buried my only child today." Later, she sat Tosin down and spoke to him with all the wisdom of a mother who had just escaped a great tragedy. "My son," she said, "in this world, not every smiling face is a safe one. Obedience saves more lives than intelligence ever will. If you had disobeyed me, you would be gone. Never ignore a mother's warning, for sometimes it is the voice of God Himself." The story of the yellow porridge spread in hushed whispers throughout the billionaire community. Some called it witchcraft, others called it pure wickedness. But everyone agreed on one thing: a divided household is a playground for the devil. Beloved, beware of household wickedness. The deadliest betrayals rarely come from strangers in the street. They come from those who sit at the same table and eat from the same pot. So, my dear viewer, I ask you, who is sitting at your table? Who is whispering in your house? May God open your eyes, and may every hidden evil against your life be exposed and destroyed in Jesus' name. If this story touched you, please like this video to push the message further. Comment below what stood out to you most, or if you've ever sensed household battles yourself. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more life-changing and eye-opening stories like this. Together, let's keep exposing darkness and bringing light into homes.